Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Talky Lady in conversation with the Folky Man. And we have just been talking about the start of bonfire season, and on the way we inevitably mentioned some other things. So we're just going to do a little catch up on some of the other points that have been happening in our area during lockdown 2020 and how we've overcome them. So for the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to talk about Old Town Carnival Week, and we're going to talk about the things that would normally be expected to take place in Old Town Carnival Week, and then the problems and the issues and how we overcame them through Isolation Station Hastings and the help that we've had there. So, what do you want to talk about first, Keith? Do you want to talk about what normally happens, or do you want to talk about what did happen and then how that relates to the usual events?
What normally happens is this week of community craziness.
9 days, the mayor always says.
Yeah.
It's always worth more than a week.
Absolute community craziness. And okay, you get people that they go to work, they come straight home, they go straight out, and they just get stuck in with all the things that are happening. I mean, during the day we've got garden parties, tea, open houses, open churches, walks, things of that nature. And then virtually every evening there's some kind of...
When you say virtually, you mean something every evening,
Yeah.
not online virtually, as in almost on this occasion.
Almost.
Normally,
Yeah.
well, no, actually every night there is something.
Yeah, some kind of community craziness going on.
I don't know about craziness.
Everybody's just out having a good time. Treasure hunts, tram races, gurning,
Suppers, sea boot
racing, riding old bicycles up exceptionally steep hills, auctions,
various food events.
yeah, you name it, and
Yeah.
I mean, loads of people just take the week off for their holiday.
Yes, and of course Carnival Day.
And then Carnival Day, just to top it all off, and we usually have an absolute ball. It's usually a fan. Oh, and not forgetting the Not on the Beach concert, huge concert on the beach with local bands
For the RNLI.
for the RNLI, and loads and loads and loads of money is collected for local charities by all these organisations. And of course, once again this year, that has hardly happened, which is a real shame. Really, really sad.
So,
And we've lost all of those community events, but we managed to do something.
so what were the problems you felt needed overcoming? Because we're now talking, Old Town Carnival Week is the first week in August. Sometimes it takes in the last few days of July. So the world had changed from how it was in March and April and May. It was a very different beast to what we were allowed to do, and the changing rules that were coming out from government, and we had to apply and think through that, and we were able to do things that we can say, there were some things we were able to do in person and some things we did virtually. So how did you make the choice, or how was that choice made for you?
Well, that choice was made for us really, because although people are allowed out onto the streets, although people are allowed out to do things, although pubs are open and things of that nature, you're not allowed to have big crowds. And the problem is that most of these events draw big crowds of onlookers and so on. Sometimes big crowds. I mean, it would have been possible to do a lot of the races and so on with nobody there, and just film it and put it out live. But what's the point? There's absolutely no atmosphere, and if there's no atmosphere, and that also means that there's nobody there, so you're not going around to collect money in buckets.
And that's the main thing, it's the charity collections for Old Town Carnival.
Then
Yeah.
it becomes really, really difficult to consider why anybody would want to do it.
So why did you go down the virtual route, as in how we're doing virtual through the expertise and of Isolation Station Hastings, and how were we able to present a whole week? It wasn't just one day; it was a whole week.
It was a whole week.
Yes.
Yeah, we had
that was a challenge.
Yeah, various. We didn't actually go every evening. That was actually too much.
Yes, it did. Isolation Station did.
They did, didn't they? Yes, we did.
Because
actually,
we had the stables story every night.
Yeah, the story from the stables every night.
Yeah, Ed
Thank you,
Vauxhall's
stables.
story.
That was fantastic. That was really worth doing.
Done it once. It's now a tradition.
Really worth seeing. We managed to put the Two Towers Trust quiz online.
Yes.
Oh, that was fun. And we also managed to put the treasure trail on online. And what we did is we took photographs of the chimneys of the pubs, and people had to recognise them.
Who took photos?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and that was hilarious because everybody says, "Oh yeah, Old Town pubs, I know that." But did they recognise the chimneys of the pubs? No, they're not usually looking up when they're going through the door.
Yes, that was.
Someone said
sneaky.
unless they're laying down when they come out.
And then the tours of the two churches.
Yep,
Three churches.
Yep, we took tours of the three churches, so we managed to get these done virtually.
There were still some live walks, capped at 6 people.
Yep.
And there was the Crazy Golf.
Oh, that was fun. That was a laugh, that was.
So Crazy Golf in Hastings holds the national championships each year. So we have 3 golf courses all together in the same place.
Yes, but it wasn't the World Championships. This was the Winkle Club.
Yeah.
And
It collects for charity.
And they actually managed to collect about 300, I think, for charity, which was good.
Yeah.
And
But that was live streamed.
but that was live streamed. So okay, we had socially distanced 6 people only Crazy Golf.
Yeah.
Being live streamed out on Isolation Station. It was hilarious.
Yes.
Absolutely hilarious. As great fun.
It was great fun.
I don't think half the other people there knew what the hell was going on.
And then, so we had some lovely events, and then unfortunately Carnival Day, where we take over the streets from 3 in the afternoon, and we have the Carnival Parade itself that ends the whole week before the fireworks. That was the hardest to be able to...
Yeah. How can you have a carnival online? We had various bits of footage of old carnivals.
Yeah.
And we did put them out right the way through the week, but you just couldn't put it out online on the day because there wasn't much. And what's more, it was a really sunny day.
Oh, it was like we are now, baking hot.
More baking than this.
And people were allowed out now. We had more than 1 hour.
So
Pubs were open.
People were not in the mood to sit at home all afternoon on a baking hot day.
No.
To watch a virtual carnival.
But we put a lot of material out on Facebook.
But there was loads of things there, so people could actually enjoy previous carnivals online by just looking at various clips and so on that we had. So that was lovely.
And we've saved now a lot of footage that we didn't know existed. And
we've now got an archive.
Yes, on our new website for the carnival.
So that's great. We've now got an archive, and that archives exist. And what I need to do is make sure a few copies are out there so that we don't lose that archive. So we've now got an archive of old carnivals. So thank you for all the people that gave us stuff. Sorry we couldn't show it all, but it all does exist on the archive, and we'll make sure we don't lose it.
So speaking personally, normally you and I know that doing community events is physically exhausting. There's a lot of paperwork and background work that needs to be done with the authorities beforehand. I think I'm going to answer this question. So it's a lot of hard work, physical work, lots of meetings, etc., that we do through the year. But those are done because they're face to face. they have that social niceness about them of meeting the same people, that you're all working together and you get that achievement. Whereas you and Dominic spent days worth beforehand, but you were alone on your computers.
Oh, just about 3 weeks in total, just sitting there on. No wonder I've got backache. Just sitting there on a computer, just getting stuff in, putting it together, editing it, making sure it was possible to send it. We've got hours of stuff though, so it's really good.
Yeah. And do you hope that you're going to do it like that next year, or do you hope you're going to do it live next year? What do you want for next year?
I want a carnival. Very pleased. I want a real carnival, and I want a real carnival week, and I want the community to get. I tell you, when this is over, this community is going to go absolutely. I think the world's going to go absolutely. We need it. We really do.